Hey everybody, it's Mr. Morfetto. 2 weeks ago, I believe, I did a video about Android 18 and how I felt that Android 18 was the most underutilized female character in Dragon Ball history, and how she should have been used better in the Dragon Ball series. Well, I started doing some Googling on female characters' wasted potential, and I found this really good, I'm not sure what you'd call it. Someone wrote this out on a Dragon Ball website. I'm not sure if it's a Dragon Ball website, but it's aminoapps.com. This guy named Chuck and 31319 wrote this out, and I was going to read it. It really got my attention, and I'm starting to think that Videl could have actually been the most underutilized and had the most potential in all of Dragon Ball as a female protagonist. I'm going to read this, and I'm going to comment on it, and I'm going to see what you guys think. I want to know what you think. Is it Videl or is it 18? It says, oh boy, did Dragon Ball do Videl dirty? Being the daughter of the champ, Mr. Satan, Hercule, as well as renowned crime fighter, Videl immediately establishes herself as a capable fighter and a promising character, despite being weaker than much of the current cast. Her gift and determination, along with her fiery personality, showed us that Videl was not someone we should take lightly. Combine this with the fact that her awkwardly cute romance with Gohan led to her learning ki control and flight. It seemed like a truly great female character was finally on the horizon. Very true, 100%. I remember that whole arc of Gohan going to school and meeting Videl and becoming Mr. Saiyan, Great Saiyaman, sorry. He became the Great Saiyaman, and as a kid, I enjoyed it, but of course, when you watch it, you're just kind of waiting for them to get to the tournament and get to the big action, of course. But as an adult, as a kid, like I said, I enjoyed Gohan going to school, little slice of life type of thing that you don't see in the Dragon Ball world, seeing the real world, school, and all that, and then Gohan meeting a friend like Videl, and I think that was actually a real highlight of the Buu Saga, which is one of my least favorite sagas in the Dragon Ball series. But Videl's relationship with Gohan was really set up nicely, in my opinion, and the fact that she had a little training arc with Gohan and Goten, that was fantastic. Building her up to be a fighter. She was already a fighter. She was already into fighting. She was more of a fighter than her father at the time. I'm pretty sure she was much stronger than Hercule at the time. She had an amazing... I'm going to keep reading this article. In the build-up to the Majin Buu arc, she had some fantastic moments. Her detective-style discovery of Gohan being the Great Saiyaman, as well as the Golden Fighter, was entertaining to watch, and her banter with Gohan and Goten during the ki control lessons were very humorous. Yes, they were. Another aspect to Videl that I liked was that while she thought the world of her dad, she wasn't completely ignorant to his antics. Unlike his followers, this is displayed appropriately when she gets Gohan to confess that it was him that actually defeated Cell, stating that she never truly believed that it was Mr. Satan. Finally, Videl is tenacious enough to keep fighting even when the odds are stacked against her favor, yet mature enough to admit her own faults. These are two traits that have led to some of her best moments. Her stating that she can't fly quickly because of the wind in her eyes is something Dragon Ball fans have hailed as genius for many years, and her fight with Spopovich is one of Dragon Ball's most shocking scenes, despite almost being killed by the Hulken Majin. She never gives up and keeps fighting until she is physically unable to A most unable, yeah. Most prominent in our two main Saiyans. We even see her more goofy side at the end of the Buu Saga as she becomes Gohan's partner in crime as the Great Saiyan Man's sidekick. The Great Saiyan Girl, Great Saiyan Man 2. Yes, we truly had a great female character in Videl, and then the new age of Dragon Ball happened. Yes, and Videl's fight with Spopovich was shocking to say the least, and I think I appreciated it more now as an adult. And like I was saying before, I appreciate her arc more as an adult. She was the total underdog next to all the Dragon Ball men, and it made sense. I didn't want her to already be stronger than Krillin or anything at this point. No way. It was only a few months of training with Gohan and Goten, and they barely showed her anything. They were just teaching her how to fly, and they were just teaching her a little bit of ki control. But her fight with Spopovich was very awesome. It was awesome to see basically the closest thing we've seen to a regular human in Dragon Ball Z in a fight with a buffed up superhuman with magic thanks to Bobby Spopovich. That fight was brutal. I believe Videl breaks his neck and kicks his neck around like an owl. And that fight went on almost too long in a way, since it was so brutal, and then it really set up Gohan later on fighting him, charging up and being really mad and not really caring who saw his face anymore. He was just worried about Videl, and it really developed their relationship in a short amount of time, even though they've already laid the seeds for it in their training. But it's interesting. I feel like Videl was the most interesting new character to come to Dragon Ball in a long time. She just wasn't used anymore after this. After this fight with Spopovich, it was pretty much it. Which makes sense. She wasn't someone that could help fight the Majins or anything, and I understand that. But there's something she could have done. She could have been involved with Gohan's training, or been with him when he was training with the Z sword. She could have somehow been there when the fight happened with Buu, and she could have been involved in the finish with Buu instead of having Goku and Vegeta save the day again. She could have been the one to push Gohan over the edge. Yes, he got his boost, his ultimate boost, his Mystic Gohan boost. Ultimate Gohan boost, but she could have been there. She could have died blocking an attack or something for Gohan, saving him, kind of like Piccolo saving Gohan, just pushing Gohan out of the way, something crazy. I don't know, but it could have led to Gohan going past to the next level to beat Buu. He could have been a major story point, and of course they bring her back, but there's so much potential they could have used with Videl, but it wasn't ruined yet in the Buu Saga. It happens later. Let's continue the article. With the arrival of the best Dragon Ball movie, Battle of Gods, came one of the worst cases of character neglect I've ever seen. The once badass crime-fighting heroine of justice was reduced to being a well-behaved housewife and mother. Are we beginning to spot a trend here? With Toriyama's writing, he's saying, and female protagonists. I think what infuriates me the most with this character regression is that if you think about it, Videl and adult Gohan have very similar character arcs and goals, in spite of everyday life providing challenges for these two characters. They both want the best for each other and want to protect their family. However, the difference comes with what path each character chose. After Frieza's resurrection, Gohan realizes that he was far too weak to protect those he loved. And despite being a pacifist, Gohan realized that training and potentially fighting are things he must do if he wants to protect them from future threats. This leads to his training with Piccolo. and the rediscovery of his ultimate form, and his participation in the Tournament of Power. Videl has the same struggle as Gohan, yet instead of doing something productive to hone her previously established fighting skills so that she can protect Pan more effectively, the writing staff decided that we needed yet another good, obedient, supportive housewife for her strong, hunky husband. True statements. Videl easily could have been training this entire time between Buu and Super. She could have had years of training with Gohan, and they could have... I already thought of this when I was reading the Dragon Ball Super manga recently. The show should not have started with Bulma's birthday. The show should have started with Videl and Gohan getting married, and Beerus and Whis coming down and showing up for that wedding, which will have all the same gimmicks as the food that they could eat, because I know Beerus and Whis love food, and that's part of the gimmick. Could keep the same story beats, but the development of Hercule being at the wedding as giving away Videl, Gohan and Videl getting married, Piccolo being part of Gohan's family would have been a great beat that fans would have loved. I mean, he could have taken Goku's spot in the seating or something because Goku was late because he was training. And it would have made sense because Goku was training on the dang planet, and Videl and Gohan's wedding could have happened. That would have been a great development for Gohan and Videl. And they could have easily said that they both have been keeping up on their training. Maybe later, if they still want to play the whole Gohan hasn't been keeping up on his training, that's fine. But they could have pushed the fact that Videl, who loves fighting, according to the Buu Saga, loves martial arts, could have developed her skills and put herself as one of the strongest humans at this point if she got the right training. They could have developed her in a way where she seeked out training from Goku, from Master Roshi. Now that she's part of this Z-Fighter family after the Buu Saga, she knows them all. She could have found out that Goku, they could have revealed that she trained with Master Roshi. I mean, they gave him a huge power boost in Super. Why not give this girl who had so much potential a power boost by training with Master Roshi? She could have used the Kamehameha and blew everybody away. She didn't have to do anything huge. She could have even been involved in the Universe 6 tournament. If they wanted to write her correctly, she could have been in the Tournament of Power as one of the fighters if they had pushed her to the point where she had reached that level of power. And then you'd have a major female character who loves fighting. I can almost get why 18 could have not wanted to train, because she just was a regular girl and got turned into an android, and she was given this huge power boost, which is great. And they should have developed her, yes, like I said in my last video. But I'm liking this Chuck guy's article here, or his thoughts on the fact that Videl was wasted potential. She definitely would have, character-wise, kept training. And I could understand if she still got pregnant and took some time off. But she could have been involved in fighting the friggin' Frieza soldiers. That could have been the first time we see her actually keep up with the Z-Fighter humans, at least, and fought a good handful of these guys. It would have been really cool. They could have revealed her fighting, and then Gohan realizing, wow, she's been training while I've been working, with Master Roshi or with Krillin or somebody from the group that she became friends with. She could have not told Gohan that she's been training this whole time and showed him, and then he could have been like, shit, what have I been doing? And get his ass kicked just like he did, and then realize he needs to train again with Piccolo. It would have been really cool. Or, fuck, if she got to train with Piccolo, oh my god, and did the don't get me started. Alright, let's keep going. This is perfectly displayed during the Great Saiyaman Barry Khan filler arc of Super. There's a moment where Gohan is unconscious and Coco presumes that Gohan is dead, to which Videl tells her that no, he isn't, and she must remain composed for Pan and must forever be supportive of Gohan, and yada yada yada. It makes for a very cute moment, and Gohan regathers his strength and defeats Barry Khan. Sure, this is a good moment for a mother, yet Videl is so much more than a caring mother. The old Videl, who had been constantly training to fight, would have given Pan, who has shown to be able to take care of herself, by the way, to one of the responsible adults with her at the time, Coco or any of the film crew, and she would have gone up there to Gohan and helped him. She could have distracted Barry Khan whilst Gohan charged up the final blow. She could have gone and gotten help from other Z fighters. She could have gone and gotten a senzu bean for Gohan. You know what the real Videl would have done? She would have given some speech which can be basically summarized as, I'm a good mother and wife and I support my husband. Shame on you, Akira and Toei, on handling Videl. She had so much potential and she has been squandered into irrelevancy. Yes, she has been squandered into irrelevancy, and honestly, I did not watch that filler episode. It just did not appeal to me at all. It just seemed like a waste of time. I just wanted to get to the next main arc of Super, and I'm not sure, I think it was right after the Trunks arc, or the future Trunks arc in Super, and it was awful, and I just wanted to get to the Tournament of Power arc, I think. But regardless, Videl should be used outside of filler, and in the main continuity, she could be our number one female. She could be stronger than Krillin and 18, even if they wrote her the right way. I mean, that's a big stretch. That's what I'm saying. Maybe my idea was better. Android 18 had the most potential, more potential than Videl to be a number one player. But Videl had a lot of potential to be a character that could help with fights with smaller characters, at least. If she got the right training, she could have been a part of the Universe 6 tournament at the very least and showed off some skills that she'd learned over the years off screen. Something. She could have her own training arc. Who knows? So much potential with both 18 and Videl. Who do you think is the better female protagonist, 18 or Videl? Who do you think, out of all the female characters in Dragon Ball, should have been pushed harder by Akira Toriyama? I still think it's Android 18, but this argument was very well written, and I also now think Videl had a lot of potential to become a main fighter in the Z fighters or the main cast. She could definitely be someone that helps Gohan at the very least win a major fight down the road. But at this point, there's no saving her. At this point, she is just another Chi-Chi, sadly. So her best hope is a filler arc where she can step in and do something cool. I'm Mr. Morfetto. Thanks for listening. See you later.